Welcome into the American Post Show as the dust settles on the 2025 American Rodeo. We saw tales of triumph and tales of heartbreak. If we've learned one thing from today, it's that nothing is given. I'm Haley Novak, joining you at the desk with Jordan Joe Hollenbaugh and Tim O'Connell, who have been breaking it down all weekend long, and it all came to the Final Four. And, I mean, there's not much more to say about this than, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the adrenaline rush that we sat here, this was one of the best four-man rounds I have literally ever watched. We were sitting up here, we were cheering, we were screaming, like Tim said. They started it off great, and it was ranked all the way through, and it kept you on your feet. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen at the American Rodeo.
I have to agree. And this just goes to show, rodeo's not scripted. They've always wanted to give this $1 million away, but this just shows that the champs are the champs for a reason. They were the top 5 in the world for a reason. To get that million, it is earned, not given, and it was not given away today.
No, it definitely wasn't. Even at the end in the barrel racing, when it came down, Casey had it in her hands, and it was just blown away at the end. We saw in each and every event there was one contender that would have a chance, and unfortunately they didn't win it, which is why I feel like that's our top story of right now, is that in 2026, $2 million will be given away.
Well, you can bet your butt that there's a lot of cowboys and cowgirls right now that we were just talking about this, Tim and I. You either want to win the world, want to win that gold buckle, or you're coming back to run at the $2 million for next year. So if you can't have one, you might as well have the other.
I mean, she's not wrong. Like, if you're not in contention for a world championship, you might as well throw it to 6. I mean, a chance at $2 million, $2.1 million, because you're going to win the event too. I mean, even if it's split up, you're going to get $1 million out of the deal. This has only been done once. We've seen a $2 million winner, but it's opportunities like that that truly change people's lives. $1 million changed somebody's lives, but to have $2 million in your bank account, it's just as much as my career earnings.
$2 million in one day, theoretically, but we saw that happen a few years ago with Kayaki Pacheco and the bull riding, and they've since changed the rules. Then how many people do you think in y'all's positions are going to try to vie for that $2 million?
Oh, you're crazy if you don't try it. I mean, I'm already sitting here. We're already preparing for next year. You know, you start now to get ready for the American 2026. It's an event you can't not be a part of if you rodeo and you do this for a living. And what I love about the American is we've seen all walks of life, all ages, you know, from 11 years old all the way to Luke Branquino, Corey Pesca, the legends of the game come out. And I think that that's huge, and that's what the American is all about. We saw that every bit of the way today.
Absolutely. And I think the strategy behind it, too, for going into next year is, one, you got to enter every one of them rodeos. Don't just put all your eggs in the basket for one. Put yourself in all 3. Give yourself an opportunity to get here. But if you're in that top 5, hold your ground steady, and maybe we'll see the next time a $3 million pot. Like, that's just what happened today.
Could you imagine $3 million?
Well, this field is so talented in every event. Like you said, Tassie had it. And then you got the reigning world champ coming behind you at the bottom of the ground to steal the show and run the pot over. I mean, that's great rodeo.
Yeah, it's amazing rodeo.
Yeah, she's the reigning world champ for a reason. We saw her and Jarvis do that today. Let's talk the previous champions that we've seen here at the American. There's been so many, and Caleb Driggers just keeps on adding his name to that list by being the biggest champion here.
Yeah, Caleb Driggers has won this rodeo 5 times. Junior coming back, win it with him 3 times. 3.9 seconds for $140,000. Like, let's just say that again, 3.9 for 140. This was a tough series, kind of let up right there. Driggers did a great job of getting him in toll and getting him out of Junior's way. You weren't going to see Junior rope a leg twice here at the American today. So cool that this team came through with a leg. It just goes to show you anything can happen when you're here at the American. And at the end of the day, I mean, we've talked all day long. Driggers has had so much success here. This is the rodeo almost that Driggers built. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, he feels at home in this arena. He feels at home with this environment. This big, anytime when there's big money up for grabs in a roping, Driggers is the guy. Driggers and Junior, those two are so in sync with each other. They're so in sync with their horses. They're in sync. I mean, like they know what each other are going to do before they're going to do it. They're such a dynamic pair that ropes together. And when you put all the big money in the pot, those are the guys you want to bet on.
You know what, Tim? They have chemistry there. And after Junior roped that leg, I saw him watching the rest of the rodeo, and you could just see the anger on his face and see the determination that we saw out there in the arena. So thanks to Yeti for bringing us that insider access to that Junior Noguera and Caleb Driggers run right there. But let's move on to the bull riding with Tristan Hutchings. He finalized it all there. But as we take a look at the championship round, Tyler Wade, no time, multiple no times we saw today.
Yeah, we saw 3 no times here. Man, I was really rooting for Chad Masters and Corey Pesca just because legendary in their own right, but it's not very often you get to see these guys that we've seen grow up at the NFR come and compete for $1 million. So that's what I really think is the huge takeaway today is there were so many opportunities, but just like Tim said, it's not given here, it's earned, and it just goes to show it's not scripted. I thought that was a great quote. Talk a little bit more about that, because we even had our picks here on desk and nothing kind of went how we saw it going.
No, and you think like that when the dreams are in the air and the fantasy to become a millionaire is out there, you want that as a fan. You want to see someone hold that $1 million check up. But as a competitor, you want to show why you're the best in the world. You got Dean Thompson in the bareback, reigning world champ. Jess Pope in the top 5, reigning world champ. Rocker Steiner finished 2nd in the world last year. And just using that event for an example, those 3 wanted to show their ground today against Waylon Bourgeois. Not that Waylon did anything wrong, but that was all the events. Everybody was going to hold strong. We're the best. You got to beat the best to get the dream. This isn't a fairy tale ending, and that's why.
Yeah, definitely no Cinderella stories here. Even in the bareback riding, your example, Rocker Steiner said, if you're not showing up to be the best, then don't even worry about showing up. And that's what we saw. And Tristan Hutchings, he came here to decide that he was the best. Only 2 bull riders made it to this Final Four. Tristan, in 8 seconds, won $140,000 with this ride.
Well, I don't know much about bull riding, but this looked like a flawless ride to me. It looked like he covered all his bases, and the most thing is there was so much pressure here. There was only 2 guys, so literally you beat 1 guy, and you walk away with a bunch of money in your pocket today. So when the pressure comes up, he rises to the top and shows up and shows out.
Yeah, and he always has. He's shown up at the NFRs. He's been to 3 NFRs, had 1 bad one. He lost his mom 2 weeks before in a car wreck. Was really thrown off at the national finals, comes back last year, has a great NFR. Takes some time off after the finals to heal up. His first rodeo back, Rodeo Houston, wins it. Second rodeo, the American, wins it. When the chips are down, this guy can strap bulls with the best in the world. And I love the fact that he won it all, but he had to ride every bull.
Yep.
This format changed that. They weren't going to bring you in on time. It had to be earned. You had to earn a score, not a high time to get you back. Tristan Hutchings earned a score every round and takes $140,000 home.
Tim, how do you think that changed the game of the bull riding here at the American, taking that away and just making you wait a qualified ride?
Well, you got bull riders, not bull getter honors. And that's just the car facts of
right.
it.
I like that. We're going to have more coming up after this on the pre-show. Welcome back into the pre-show from the 2025 American. It is all complete. We're just breaking everything down from the dirt all the way up to the desk. We have Janie Johnson, who has been getting all of the insight from these athletes today.
Guys, I'm still catching my breath from making the trip from down there. Not only is it a long distance, but it was just such an exciting day. Now, I know we didn't crown a millionaire, but that just builds even more excitement for next year. We're going to have over $2 million here coming here for 2026. It's unreal, and these athletes were just beyond excited to get this opportunity.
They certainly were. Let's talk the saddle bronc riding with Damian Brennan, brought to you by RM43 in the Weeds. Let's break what the drama played out in saddle bronc riding.
Well, the drama didn't play out too much for Damian. He comes into the long round, wins the long round, gets a great horse today, an Exotic Warrior, and puts it all over him. This is the Damien that led the world through the entire season last year, just to let it slip away at the very end of Rider Right for a world championship. But this is the form that got him there. This is the riding style that gets him to the top. And when he's on like this, he is very dangerous and hard to beat.
Yeah, he certainly is, and we saw it out there today. And there was actually no rights in this Final Four. Do you think that came to play at all?
I don't think it made a difference to these guys. When it comes down to climbing in that chute, I don't care who my competition is. It's you and that animal. It's you and that dancing partner. It doesn't matter. You can't control what other people do. You can control your body on the back of that bucking horse, and that's all you can do.
And that's what Sage Newman did right here with the re-ride option. It added the drama to the saddle bronc riding.
Boy, did it, because Damien had that huge score, that 91 3/4, and then we had to wait and wait and wait for Sage Newman. And Dandy Delight threw all kinds of different moves at Sage. He made an incredible ride, just barely missed that win, missed that $1 million. But I second what Tim said with Damian Brennan. He's so mentally cool. He is having the time of his life. This is his childhood dream, to come across the world and chase that. He's your reserve world champion. That horse, though, Exotic Warrior, I was on the sideline. I think that horse was completely straight in the air, just kicked straight up. It was incredible. He made it look easy. What a win.
And that's what you have to do in the saddle bronc riding, make it look easy. Damien has it figured out. Rocker Steiner in the bareback riding, he also has it figured out, which is why he won today with that high score to kick off the rodeo today.
And this one was kind of unseen on paper. They switched deliveries on this horse at the American of all places. It turns out to be the best choice they ever made for this horse. He doesn't crash into the fence, gets huge air times, find his left lead, and by that time Rocker picked all of his timing up. And when Rocker has timing, he's going to send it to the moon. And when he sent it like that, it was going to be a score that we knew was going to be an amazing bar that was set.
One of the things I loved about sitting up here was we had our own personal coach right here talking us through the bareback riding, but you were so pumped up. You were riding jump for jump with these guys, and it was literally like being on the back of the chutes. It was electric.
It was so electric. I mean, to get the mix in the air tonight, Dean Thompson starts it off with a big score. Then you got Waylon. He comes in, takes the lead. Rocker goes next. He bumps the lead out. He made a great ride, just didn't have the horsepower underneath him today. That horse just didn't have the day that she had. But you're talking an 88 to a 91.5 split. These guys rode so great. But Rocker comes out with that flash in his feet. When he has that flash rolling, he is so tough to beat, and that's why he's the reigning reserve world champion.
And I think that adds a little chip on his shoulder that he is the reigning reserve world champion. Janie, what do you think from your perspective?
Well, not to mention Rocker coming off that wrist injury, and he kind of had a slow start to his winter. Well, then he gets healed up. He feels good. He wins Rodeo Houston. That was just a few weeks ago. He comes over here, wins $100,000. The energy that guy has is absolutely unreal. And Tim, I know you've seen that horse up close and personal. He looks so strong, and Rocker is really proving that he can handle the strongest horses there are.
I've been on that horse twice, and he's big, strong, he takes big jumps, but he's everything you want in a bareback horse too. But if you make a mistake, he will put you on the ground. Those types of horses Rocker had a ton of trouble with in his first, second. In his third year, all of a sudden, he's starting to figure out how to slow them feet down just a tick to bring them horses back to him. And now he's starting to figure out these eliminator type horses, these bigger, stronger horses. And that's not the coolest thing in the world if you're a bareback rider competing against him, I'll tell you that.
You better get worried about that. We're going to switch ends of the arena and talk the timed event side of things with Jordan Joe when we return. All things are said and done in the arena, but there's still so much to talk about. $2 million on the line for 2026, but we had $1 million experience today here in Globe Life Field. We saw it in the rough stock events and in the timed events as well. It came with the punch. Josie Connor ended up reserve world champion last year, same story as Rocker Steiner, and came to win the American this year.
Yeah, she did. And last year she made the 4-man round here. I was there with her as well. She didn't get done what she wanted to get done. So she had something on her shoulder coming in for right now. Martha Angeloni, I thought, was the run that really set the tone because Shelby comes out. She's a 2-flat. Martha breaks that barrier 1.9. We thought it's in the bag. And she made a great run on a tough calf that went over there to the left. She's cheering. I know she was almost ready for that victory lap, but you can't ever count out Josie Connor. And she comes in. She scores great. She's in that barrier, takes her first shot. Her horse breaks it off so fast. And we saw her do that all year long last year. It's phenomenal. You don't ever count Josie out, and she loves to win, and we saw that here. Man, it was phenomenal. Riley Webb right there, her dad right there in the background. Proven champion here. You're going to see that all year long with her horsepower and the way she uses her rope. Couldn't be more proud for Josie.
Reigning Horse of the Year, Dutch, like you said, snaps it off so fast, and it looked like he didn't really like the celebration afterwards. He was a little bit excited about it too.
Yeah, I know Josie always says she's trying to ride him, keep him quiet, but man, he's a phenomenal horse, and that's what you saw all day today. Martha Angeloni riding Jessie. That horse has changed her life, horsepower. Shelby Mosley was on Horse of the Year Anna this year. We haven't seen her for a little bit while. She's been riding Root Beer, so it was exciting to see Anna come back 2-flat and don't walk away with anything but third. And then Cadence Tyndall, she was our American for the $1 million. Man, she made a great run, came out there, got the barrier, was just a little hair trigger right there. But you've got to be when you're backed in the corner and put in these situations for $1 million.
Cadence to be so proud of herself as she goes home today, hanging with the Wolves. The best that anybody really did today, I would say, as far as contender goes. But let's move on to the calf roping, where Riley Webb, he came out there, and we were having a little running bet going on his time. And I think, Jordan, you won that with the 6.9.
I did. I called it out. 6.9, broke that 7-flat barrier. Riley Webb comes out there, calf gets out. He runs a little bit. Riley Webb can take him so much further and still be fast. But you can't ever count out Shane Hanchey. He is like the quiet veteran that comes in there and he's like, hey, yeah, you were 6'9", watch this. I'm 6'7". And he was saying, can you see me now? Made a great run on his Horse of the Year. I think that's Bugsy right there. He said, like you heard him, it was a little bit different transition from when he won the American last year. Not last year, but the last time he won the American, 2-time American champion. It is more centered on his family being here, and he said he's had some humble times. So what an amazing opportunity to come in here, win $100,000, get you set up for this summer, and get going, build some momentum on this run. I think Kincaid Henry won the first round on this calf, so it was a great calf, and he capitalized on it. But again, just like Tim was saying, this rodeo was an amazing 4-round rodeo. They started off, Haven Magic came out, broke the barrier, but I mean, he's going at it, right? Then here comes Riley Webb, 6'9". We always count on that. Shane Hanchey follows up 6'7". We were on our toes for Kincaid. He didn't really have the calf he wanted, didn't get it done as that contender opportunity. But again, everybody else that's not here is happy because $2.something million for next year. We're excited about that.
Right, and I'm curious to know that 6'7" Shane was saying, do you see me now? Do you see me now? Because of earlier in the round when they might have seen something they didn't, how much of that fuel do you think from earlier led to that fire?
I don't know. Shane Hanchey is a veteran. He comes in, he's quiet, cool. I mean, you watch Riley Webb be 6'9", and it looks like Shane Hanchey's fixing to take a nap in his rocker right there. It just doesn't stir him. He does the same run every time he shows up to do his job, and he's done it so many times. Over 10 times at the NFR, consistently in the American. I mean, there really isn't an accolade that he hasn't won, and it was pretty impressive to watch him show up here today.
It certainly was.
I really loved what Shane Hanchey said in his interview, though, whenever he kind of acknowledged how fast Riley Webb was. He says Riley Webb's the best calf roper in the world, but today he can say that he beat him, and that was just a cool moment. Just shows how much they feed off of each other. Iron really does sharpen iron there.
Most certainly.
And it runs deep through Louisiana. All those guys hang out together each day, but we have to talk about the barrels. And the drama we saw, Tacey Matthews had the $1 million in her hand and lost it.
Oh my goodness. This was the most exciting barrel race. Tacey Matthews was absolutely incredible in the contender round. Then she comes out here with Pop Rocks. They made a phenomenal run. It was fantastic. They're back. Pop Rocks has been out from injury, and now they're here in full form. Then Tacey had to watch and wait for Dusky Lynn Hall to go, and then Cassie Mallory. And guys, she's the GOAT for a reason. The second she turned this second barrel, I said, it's done. Cassie won it. Jarvis is incredible. He's the smoothest horse. She trained this horse. This horse means so much to her. She has won more money in any barrel racer in history. So she knows how to handle every kind of pressure. Cassie Mallory just won Houston. And honestly, I feel kind of bad. I feel like we almost called her out. We didn't talk about Cassie Mallory enough coming in to the American. I don't know why we didn't do that. Same thing happened in Houston. She never really won a round, and then she won the big thing at the 4-man. She just knows how to ask that little bit more from her horse when the time really counts. It's like she saves Jarvis.
As Tacey's fixing to ride in the arena, Tim says, "Hey, here's our dark horse. We haven't really talked about her all year." And then here she comes, third on the ground, or second on the ground, wipes him away, and we're up here, we're cheering, and we're getting involved in this barrel race. Tell me what you thought about it, Tim.
I mean, I had goosebumps. Goosebumps from the barrel racing. I've never been so involved in the barrel racing since the first round of the national finals last year. Now I'm very invested in barrel racing.
Good,
but
good.
I mean,
You should be.
For Tacey, I hate that for her. She had $1.1 million in her pocket, about to take it to the banker, and the reigning world champ says, "No, you can go home with $25,000 instead."
Yeah, Cassie Mowry's never a dark horse.
No, never. And then fourth on the ground, too. It just goes a testament to her, how she rides, and then Jarvis as well. So, I don't know, Haley. It was electric. I'm pumped up, obviously, as you can see.
Oh, yes, we all had
now we have to go
goosebumps up
home.
here.
What are we going to do?
Probably not sleep. Just think about, you guys will think about the $2 million for next year, but the dirt was great for the barrels and for everything else, because it actually is a baseball field. All year long, New Holland brings you the arena transformation. In fact, just last Sunday, I was here attending the Rangers game, watching them play and watching them win with a walk-off, and now we're watching all these people walk off with so much money. It's so impressive what they can change so fast.
Yeah, I knelt down a little earlier when I was walking across that and touched the grass just in case, so I could say I've been here.
I like that. No, this arena was absolutely incredible. This crew put so much work, so much planning, and making sure that it's absolutely the best setup for all these contestants. And I think that really showed this year. We saw super fast times, huge scores. The horses buck in Globe Life Field, Tim. It's actually really amazing to watch.
Yeah, and they have changed this arena over the years. And I think they have finally found the one that really helps every event as a whole. It doesn't help one a little bit more than the others. This is the arena that everyone can succeed in, whether it's bucking horses or time events.
I think today proved just that. We're going to take a quick break and talk all of the winners from 2025 when we return. The crowd is still here as the 2025 American is completely finished. We're all here in Globe Life Field talking about the re-ride stories we saw, the fast times and the fast runs. We're sitting here at the pre-show desk as we talk about everything that's happened. We have to mention the AQHA fan vote Horse of the American. It is Redman Jones, Scooby, a 14-year-old horse owned by Randy Prindle, and it was voted on by the fans.
Yeah, how cool is that? That is an amazing horse, really bred cool, and they've had a lot of success here in the American in years past. They won the semifinals. They came in here in the contender round, and they made a great run. Didn't quite make it to the big show on Saturday, but what an awesome horse, and Randy, a great trainer. They've had some great times together, and that's really neat for the fans to get involved in the AQHA and the breeding and get really behind these fan favorite horses.
Yes, because the contestants are so involved in every event, whether it's the rough stock or the timed events. Everybody knows the breeding of the animal, where they came from, and all the heritage. It's so important to our sport.
Well, and our horses we're nothing without our horses. Even for the rough stock, they make us do what we get to do, and so they're so important, so crucial, and just to have them recognized is really important to all of us contestants.
They certainly deserve it. We've talked everything but the steer wrestling. Will Loomis coming in there, the big guy, the Viking, as Tim O'Connell called him earlier. I mean, he just came in there and did exactly what needed to happen at the final second.
I mean, that's Will Loomis. I mean, big Will Loomis. He's done everything but win a world title, and he's been so close so many different times. J.D. Struckness thinking he's going to go back-to-back as an American champion and the reigning world champion. But big Will Loomis said, I got different plans for you. When he got a hold of him, there was no question he was going to be down in milliseconds just before.
Well, and one of the things I loved is Dakota Eldridge comes out right after Will wins it, and just massive hug. I mean, you know they're all wanting to win it, but at the end of the day, the camaraderie in this sport, Will's for everybody. But I love how he gave the shout out to Clayton Haas, who he trusts, and the horses. I mean, them guys are true testaments to rodeo, and I love everything about them.
Well, I think Joe Beaver also said it best. You know, of course, every time we talk about Will Loomis, we're like, somebody give this guy a world title. He's been so close. Well, sometimes it just takes that one big win to really catapult that season. Now, I know this isn't a PRCA event, but a win gives you all the confidence in the world. It can completely change your mentality for the rest of the year.
Well, and last year, J.D. Struckness, we saw him win this event, and then he went on to win his
right.
world title. So let's call it here for Will Loomis, world title 2025.
All right, put it down right now. We're going to remember it. It's going to be a big deal.
All right, yeah, just by 0.08 of a second is what he won. Jesse Brown, he could have had $1 million, but one cotton string broke that dream and the barrier.
That's just depressing. We don't even want to talk about it.
You're like,
Yeah.
do we have to talk about that?
There's highs and there's lows, I guess, but that is so unfortunate for Jesse to come in there and Dakota Eldridge with the no time. And you see that all the time, but as we take a look at what we just watched today, is there anything that sticks out for you guys?
There's the atmosphere, man. It was a full house here from the top to the bottom. You could feel it. It was an amazing form. Everybody just continued to step up, step out. They kicked it off with the bareback red, and they finished it strong with the bulls. It was an amazing American performance 2025.
Tim, I'm curious what you thought the atmosphere was here in Globe Life. You've had highs and you've had lows right here in this arena, right down there on this dirt. How did this compare? Obviously a little different in a different spot, but
It was electric. There's 35,000 people here. They sold this event out tonight. When we had this rodeo in 2020 at the national finals, you could hear a pin drop on the arena floor. It was eerie quiet. It was off. It wasn't the Thomas and Mack. It wasn't that electricity. This is electricity. This is what $1 million should bring out in rodeo. Like, this is the atmosphere that deserves that kind of money.
We both got goosebumps. When Tacey turned that third barrel and
I
she
know.
came home, we literally both were like looking at each other. We got goosebumps.
Well, over 35,000 tickets sold here, if not even more than that. They had amazing fans, an amazing crowd, and they were all here for the rodeo, 100%. They love the concert too, but they were here for this rodeo. And guys, I still can't believe we didn't win $1 million today, but it's going to be rolling over. But I really think we're going to see a lot of these contenders back. Dusky Lynn Hall, she is not done at the American. She's only 11 years old. I think we're going to see her for years and years and years to come, no matter whether it's that horse Wally or another one she's got, because this crowd, these fans, they absolutely loved her. She's only 11 years old. I can't wait to see what she does next, but we're definitely going to get a $2 million winner next year, okay?
I'm confident in
I'm
that
going to go
fact.
ahead and say this. I can't believe it, but you know what? They're the Titans for a reason, and that's why they're here.
Yes, they are. It was a pleasure to watch. I'm so glad we got to see all the action unfold here. We have Gage Gardner, who's a champion in his own right, winning at the Hometown Harmonies. He's going to sing for us right here on the Post Show.
I met the devil up in Pennsylvania, she was fine. Took her dancing in the moonlight, put her on Texas time. Her claws got me scarred, but she ain't put me down. Said so long to her fire, got myself out of town. I'm heading north fast with a new point of view, 'cause I've been a lot of places, but nowhere has got you. I met a buckle bunny honey down in Tennessee. She saw my boots and spurs and made those eyes at me. The way she got around, she was a cowboy's folly, one of the baddest blondes in Nashville, second only to Dolly. I knew the love and pain she could put a man through, so I'm still headed to nowhere, 'cause nowhere has got you. Drop everything else for a chance tonight.